Welcome to episode 7, guys. I'm sure you're wondering why you're hearing those explosion sounds. If you look over here, you'll see that in between everything I installed a TNT generator. I have so much flint and so much gunpowder that I've got from various sources, like killing the creepers or when I was sieving the dust before. I figured I'd try to get through it, and since the lava generators that I have set up aren't quite good enough to keep up with this, which I'm checking into other options there too for sure, but I figured I'd go ahead and put that in. So, TNT generator. Recipe is this right here: iron block furnace, 2 redstone, and 5 TNT. Not too terrible to get to that stage 1. Stage 2 is, of course, 8 of those with a transfer node, which I can't do yet because that requires a QED to get, which requires ender pearls. So stifled by ender pearls. But check this out. So, first off, if you get too close and it explodes on you, you can take damage, but it won't damage any blocks around it, thankfully. If I was to throw out an item, though, it would probably damage that item or destroy it. But if you click here, you can see that it's pumping out 80 RF a tick. It's pumping out each TNT block. Yeah, you can see right there. I believe that runs for about 4 minutes per TNT block, and you can see that it's generating power quite nicely, actually. So, with that in mind, I figured let's break something. What do we need more of? Let's see. What do we need more of? Not that. Not that. Copper? Yeah, we'll do the copper. So, watch this factory in action. It's amazing. I'm going to throw the copper ore in here. It's going to go down and get turned into clumps. All 3 at the same time. So then we look over here, we can see that there's 3 clumps in each one. So let me get the gunpowder out of the way. 3 clumps in each level of that. Each one of those clumps being turned into a dirty copper dust, and each one of those dirty copper dusts being turned into a clean one, and then into ingots over here. So I threw this TNT generator here because I figured that would help out allowing the lava generators to have some time to recuperate, since it was lower on the further away, from them, closer to the factory. I figured its energy would be taken first, so let's check that out. Yep, its energy is being taken first, which is quite nice. It'll give... See, I just got damage there. Yep, 5 minutes actually, for each TNT block that's taken. It's generating energy to be put into the factories. You can see here that one's already done, although it's putting the oxygen back in. A large part of the power suck actually does come from this thing. The electric light separator takes so much power for whatever reason to generate the oxygen and helium that it does. I'm going to move away from that because that's quite loud over there. So guys, today I'm going to work on a few minor projects. I've got a couple of the challenges that I want to knock out, but I'm also going to be working towards some other power sources. I'm not sure which ones I'm going to end up with, but I think I'm going to have to trade those out. Those just aren't powerful enough, and I can't make the higher tier versions of them yet that produce more power because I just don't have the supplies I need. I'm still struggling to get ender pearls. But I did totally randomly kill a zombie up there in my monster farm, and he was holding one. So now I'm up to 2 of the 4 necessary to create the seeds so that I can stop worrying about ender pearls. That's what I'm going to be working on, guys. I'll come back a little bit later with another status update. So, I have not been at it very long in this episode, and I've already decided that things are far too noisy in my world. So, I made something to combat that. I've got myself some sound mufflers here. So we'll take a look at the recipe for those too. 8 wool around a note block. A note block is 8 planks around a redstone. How these work, you put them down, and they muffle the noise of whatever item they are next to. So in this case, if I was to throw one on top of this factory, for instance, this factory doesn't make as much noise now. If I was to throw one down on this TNT generator, Suddenly that makes less noise. Still a lot of noise from that, I'm sad to say. Hopefully that'll take over and I won't hear too much more of it. But this should be much quieter now. Alright, let's take a look at our power here. Building up nicely, having finished all of the ingots off over here. As you can see, I've got... Oh, listen how quiet that is. Super quiet. Thank you, Sound Muffler. You can see I've got a decent amount of copper. I already did some gold, some iron, and some tin before. But yeah, we've got ourselves a nice bit of supplies there. I wonder what we'll do with it. Alright, and we're off to a good start. If we look over here, we're going to find a harvester that I've cleverly put together already. And if we look over here, we're going to find a planter that I've already put together. So then we're going to look into the quest book, find that we've got the auto formation quest done, and we're going to claim the reward. So let's take a look at that reward bag. A bucket of water. Hey, I'm not going to complain about a free bucket. Never going to complain about a free bucket. Oh my god, guys, let's check this out. 2 Endermen, full loading 3 swords. Oh, that looks beautiful. Let's get the other one. Oh yeah. Bam. Bam, 6 ender pearls. That seed is getting made. Step over to my farm. Set up here. I think they're on the evens. And then I've already made the strong essence. Just need to grab a normal seed out of here. Other way around. Perhaps. There we go. Ender seeds. Now I can finally get on with my work. Oh, it is a great day, guys. What a great start to our episode. And here we are to finish up another quest, guys. Just a small one, but a very, very important one. All hail Dirt Chest 9000. So I'm going to pull that out. And let's see. What would be the best place for it? Like the place that would feature it the most majestically on the old base here. Oh, I feel like right here with all the animals is going to be the best place for it. Let's kind of center it. About right there. A book. We better read it. It's dangerous if we don't. Uh-huh. 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 Okay. Let's tick that. Yep. Totally got it. Read the book, absolutely. And I've had 64 dirt. But I can't claim that reward till I fill up that chest. So let's jump over here real quick. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bam! And there we go. Bam! 64 dirt in a chest. Step 1, done. Step 2, done. Step 3, done. Claim reward. Alright, so let's jump down to my hole. And let's claim this reward. Let's see what we get. 64 glass. Not going to be upset about that. Not going to be upset about that at all. And that gives us 4 hearts. 5 lives, guys. 5 lives. So now we're working on the QED. I took some of the ancient spores, and I put them on some dirt down here in a little room that I crafted off the side of my base, right next to the my little bedroom there. And I need some nether quartz for the QED. As you can see up here, these are the two items that make it. This is the actual QED itself, and this is the power source, which is an Ender Flux Crystal. Ender Flux Crystal requires some Eye of Ender and some Ender Infused Obsidian. I've got a seed for Obsidian in the Magical Crop, so that's not a problem there. Just take some time. So it's 4 Obsidian and an Ender Pearl. Put 4 of those together with an Eye of Ender, and of course I got some Blaze Powder from when I was sieving the dust before. So also not a problem there. And then the QED itself, a couple more Eyes of Ender, some more of the Ender Fused Obsidian, a crafting table, and then a diamond etched computational metrics. And that is some of the Ender Infused Obsidian again, 4 diamonds, which I've got, over a stack of, so I don't think that's a big deal. And then some burnt quartz. Burnt quartz is just quartz that has been put through the smeltery here. So here I am making soul sand. In Ex Nihilo, what you do is take a bucket of water and one of the barrels, any kind, oak or stone or any of the other woods, put it on top of mycelium, throw it in, and it transforms into witch water, and as a side product it makes the mycelium generate mushrooms. So go ahead and grab those up. I don't really know if I have a use for mushrooms, but oh well, not going to waste a resource here. And then that turns into witch water, which can be used for a whole bunch of things in Ex Nihilo, but one of the main things that I use it for is taking sand, making it soul sand. So that's what I'm doing. As soon as I've got the QED set up, I'll show you what I did. Going along with the theme that if it's not worth automating, then it's not worth doing, here you can see I've hooked up some pipes to my aqueous accumulator out there. I made another liquid transfer node. Then I've got the pipes running in here, and it's filling up the barrel with water so that it can turn into witch water. Now, there is a bug, or a graphical glitch, or something like that, where the barrel doesn't display the witch water if it is automatically filled with water, but you can see up there in the top, in the little notification thing that tells you what I'm looking at, that is witch water. So it is full of witch water. If I go ahead and throw a sand in, you can see it turns to soul sand, and if I right-click it again, then I'll pull the soul sand out. And then it'll autofill with water in just a second here, and then you can see it start to transform there into witch water. The mushrooms start spawning, and we are good to go. Alright, and I had plenty of nether quartz, and I just went ahead and put it together so you guys could see it all together here. Right on top of where I made the mycelium room down here, I've got the QED set up with some of the Ender Flux crystals around it. Those provide power to it. It's like its own power source that doesn't require any more automation than setting them next to each other. These will fling particles towards this whenever it's in action, and this will craft the things that it can craft. So it does have some specific recipes here. I'll show you the ones that it has and the ones that I'm interested in. Of course, there are the retrieval nodes, which used to not require this, but now do, of course. And then we've got the energy nodes, which I need those to make the higher tier generators from extra utilities. The Ender transmitter and Ender receiver, those I definitely need as well, because first off, that's a challenge, and second off, that's how I'm going to transmit a lot of things around my base wirelessly to remove all of those plugs and things like that I have. And then the Ender Quarry stuff I won't necessarily need. The Magnum Torch I don't want or need. But it does also provide you with a way to triple ores if you would like to do that way. You use the QED, its own special power, you put coal in with an ore, you get 3 ingots back. I prefer Mechanism, especially since it can go up to like 5 times the amount of ores that you can get. Not that I know whether or not I'll get there, but I just prefer it because it's simpler to get to, honestly, and once you understand how it works, it's pretty straightforward. Although this is more straightforward, I just can't really see a reason to use the materials this way when I can just use energy to do the same thing. So now I'm going to start working on getting a couple of these so I can make higher tier generators, and then also these, so that way I can finish that challenge out and start moving stuff around my base wirelessly. So, I'll get to work on that. I'll see you guys in a bit. And here we are about to use the QED for the first time. I've got 2 sets of Ender Pearls here loaded because I'm going to craft the other piece immediately following. and I started to craft it and then realized that it does it automatically. So this is actually my first time using the QED, so I'm sorry if I seem a little bit noobish at it, but here we go. Let's toss in that other piece of nether quartz. You can see it's going to make me the ender transmitter, and that's what it looks like when it's at work. Doesn't that look so cool? That is a really great effect and texture that the mod author did here, so great job there. And here we go, we got ourselves an ender transmitter. Then I also need to put in, I believe it's 3 nether quartz, and then yeah, there we go. And that's going to give us the ender receiver. I'm just going to step back and look at that again. That is a pretty thing. I mean, despite it all being like neon green or whatever, which might not be to some people's tastes, that looks quite amazing to me. And there we got ender receiver. So, guys, that is another quest done. Oh, I guess that code is not going to work. See, this happened on another quest too. If we look over here at Infinite Lava, which is the one where I'm supposed to produce an endlessly repeating lava farm, I set it up to where I had to craft 5 crucibles. So since I set it to where I had to craft 5 crucibles, it doesn't take the ones that come out of the furnace. I'd have to actually take them out of a crafting table in order to get it. And I guess this one is the same way because this isn't an actual crafting table, so it doesn't count as a crafting thing for crafting quests. That's very unfortunate. That's 2 quests that I can't complete. I tried recoding them to see if they would take, and it didn't work for me. I tried to just make them detection quests when I noticed that one was failing, and it didn't work. So, dang guys, that's another quest down. I just don't get a reward for it. Oh well. Oh well, guys, we'll move on. So, as you can see, I've been working on a couple of Ender IO things. It came to me in that I made a setup that does not currently work. Let me show you. You will, I'm sure, be just as disappointed as I am. If you know anything about Magical Crops and MFR, they have a long history together of kind of working, not working, kind of working, not working. So it seems like in the latest version of Magical Crops or MFR, or possibly both, there is no working between them anymore. The harvester does not pick them up, the planter does not plant the seeds. Even though I put them directly in there, still won't plant them. Which, by the way, glad that I saw that, and I can go ahead and take them out and plant them. But, in absence of this being able to work, I'm told that the farming station from Ender IO works just like it's supposed to, even with Magical Crops, even with trees. No matter what you put into it, it does exactly what it needs to do to work with a farm. So, to get to the farming station here, I had to put together a few Ender IO machines because I need the stuff that only comes from that mod. You can see here the recipe is kind of high-tech. A little bit of high-end materials is needed. This is special metal from Ender IO and diamonds to get that part of it. A diamond hoe, of course, and then electrical steel, which is a special metal from Ender IO also. The machine chassis and the basic capacitor are quite easy to make. You can see that's just iron bars and iron ingots. And then the basic capacitor is just a copper, a couple of gold nuggets, and a red stone, so nothing special there. But in order to get the pulsating crystal, the special metals from Ender IO, I had to put together an alloy smelter, and now I'm at the stage where I have everything together, except for the electrical steel, and to get that, I need this silicon, which again is only available from Ender IO. Now the good news here is I had to put together this sag mill, and that is going to use up some of the flint that I have. I assure you, I have tons of it sitting over there in a barrel, because that's the only thing I could have that would hold as much of this as I have gained so far. Then to finish it off, what I need is clay, because clay is going to get me that silicon down here, as well as a couple of normal clay pieces. I'm quite happy to have found a use for the clay, and more happy to have found a use for the flint. So let's pop that in there. You can see it begin to work. That's my TNT kicking on. You see there, 2 clay, 2 silicon already, just off the 2 that it's pulled down. So yeah, good. I'm just going to go ahead and burn all this clay, because if I really need to, I can make more of it. I'm just happy to have found a significant use for it. Also, there's kind of a bug in Ender.io. It seems like the drops as they appear do not quite keep up with the material that's being checked out all the time. So occasionally you have to dive out of a machine and then dive back into it to see the changes that have been wrought. So I'm just going to let that go and get myself some of that silicon so that I can move on with the other metals and stuff that I need from it. And once I've made some progress towards that, I'll be back with you guys. Hey, I discovered a neat little trick. I'm sure that other people knew this, but a product of putting the clay through here to get the silicon is that you do get some clay back. So if, for instance, I just take that clay, make another clay block, I can keep this thing going. Kinda neat. Didn't know that. This is my first time also experimenting with Ender.io, although I do know just a little bit about it from watching other people's videos. But this is my first time, so kind of a neat find. Thought I'd let you guys know. And although that is not a very major milestone forward, that's where I'm going to have to end the episode because it is getting a little bit long. But I will come back next episode with a whole bunch of new stuff, ready to show you all of the new projects that I've been working on. If you liked the episode, please go ahead and express that with a like on it. If you want to see more, please feel free to subscribe. I will continue the series out as long as people keep enjoying it until I finish all the challenges. Thank you guys. Have a nice day.